and others like that. Would you say that the concept of magic itself has actually all but dwindled from our society, or has it taken on a new form?
That is an incredibly fascinating question. That's actually a question that I think about a great deal. And here, I think that your question leads us into profound debates that occur especially in sociological theory and in the sociology of religion, among other disciplines, but especially in sociology of religion, about the phenomenon of secularization in the 20th and 21st centuries. And here I'm going to mention one of the people whom I think is an incredibly brilliant theoretician. He is just a building block of modern sociology and other disciplines, and was very much a kind of tormented soul, and that's Max Weber, the great German social and political theoretician of the late 1800s and early 1900s. So Max Weber was the person who coined what is now the very well-known phrase, the disenchantment of the world, which Max Weber thought of as a modern process. He understood himself as speaking about a modern process which we might refer to, and which he referred to as secularization. So it's the process in which, between the 17th and the 20th centuries, as he was analyzing it from his early 20th century standpoint, there was a gradual process of bleeding, magic and what he called enchantment out of the world. As the world became more and more rationalistic, more and more bureaucratic, more and more dependent on modern, Western, experimental scientific ways of knowing, the world became, on Weber's view, less and less magical. And in fact, he's someone really interesting to look at to explore this theme of religion and magic, because Weber's very much engaged with this question in the early 20th century. Now, Weber is often thought of as being one of the people who argued that the modern world is becoming a more and more secular place, by which he meant a less and less religious place and a less and less magical or enchanted place. But in contrast, in the decades since Weber and right up through the present day, these are profound debates in religious studies, there are those who would say that what appears to be a, quote, disenchanted world, end quote, actually can be viewed as a re-enchanted world. And what this is suggestive of is that in a world where there's less and less emphasis on transcendence, maybe there's more and more of a tendency to see the sacred as immanent within the world. So this is a phenomenon that some people might refer to as secular religion or secular spirituality. It's a phenomenon that other people might refer to as immanentism. And there are all kinds of manifestations of it, from political religions like fascism or various forms of totalitarianism, or even the conflation between American religion and nationalism. Some people would say that neo-pagan traditions like new forms of nature worship are emblematic of this re-enchantment of the world, this attempt to re-inject magic and sacredness into the world. So this is actually something that is profoundly important and interesting in talking about the relationship between religion and modernity, and also between religion and what some people would call postmodernity. Because another argument that's made by a lot of people is that if Weber was right, and if the modern world is, in a sense, co-equal with a lessening of magic, a lessening of sacredness, then maybe what we today live in is a postmodern world, which is in part defined by its reintegration of sacredness and magic into worldly reality. So there's a lot to think about here.
So, just for curiosity, what does magic mean to you?
Well, when I was little, I had a huge obsession with fairies, and I mean, that never really went away. I mean, it's gone away in the sense that, I don't think about them the way I used to, and I don't hope and, wish to see them the way that I used to. But I think that this idea of these sweet little creatures with wings, you know, going around and existing in this world that like had so much pain and ugliness and cement, that there could be these like little winged creatures, you know, with sparkles and other things, what have you, you know, was really, I don't know, a really powerful thing.
So I'm speaking with Kim of the Camosun Farm Box. So just out of curiosity, what exactly is the Camosun Farm Box program?
The Camosun Farm Box program is basically a student club that decided to start up kind of a not-for-profit market. Basically what we do is we work with local organic farmers in the Victoria area and put together boxes of sourced produce that is as fresh as it gets, with no markup, as would be in the grocery store for anyone on this campus and the other. So any kind of student, staff, faculty member, community members, anyone can get a box from us. We have winter boxes which are smaller, and we have a regular box which is pretty stupid. So each box has about 10 to 5 different items depending on the season, and we do all sorts of stuff. Right now we're at a pickup market, so you can buy stuff off the table. A la carte, we've got kiwis that are in season from Eltham Farm. We've got some huge beets, we've got some wonderful grazing greens, and a lot of stuff. So it's a way of getting some access of locally grown organic produce to folks who would like to enjoy it.
Cool. Just out of curiosity, what does magic mean to you?
Magic for me, in terms of Farm Box, is really it's really all about kind of the unexpected and allowing that kind of wonder to exist. So we don't necessarily have to have an explanation for everything. And most of the time, magic for me is just taking a time to listen and stop moving and just see what's around me.
One final question. What do you think is magical about the organic farm movement?
I think it's pretty wonderful just how much of a community it creates. People are really interested in providing for themselves these days. I think there's a growing movement in terms of food security, about being able to provide for your own, having kind of a dissatisfaction with kind of the commercial industrial food system as it stands right now. So I think it's pretty magical that folks are starting to grow their own food and starting to really develop an appreciation for the people who are farming with sustainable practices on Vancouver Island and elsewhere, and really getting to know what they're eating, because it's very important, I think. So what's magical for me about the organic food movement is really just kind of rediscovering what has already been there and finding value in it.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm here with
Sabine Ricard.
Sabine Ricard. So just tell us a little bit about your table, like what it is you're selling and why.
Okay, I sell a smattering of different handmade products that I make in my own kitchen. I really enjoy making products. It's really freeing to make your own soaps, to make your own herbal cosmetics, to make your own salves and healing products. It's a really nice thing to do, and I really enjoy doing that. And it is magical in a way, right? It can really bond me with people as well too. When I get to sell them things, there's a closer relationship that way too.
So just out of curiosity, you said you're doing something here for Valentine's Day as well?
I have a few different things made specifically for Valentine's Day. One of them actually is this thing called the Sex Bomb, and it's a bath bomb that has a condom in it, and it is a charity bomb, you can say, because $2 from the $5 of it go to Island Sexual Health Society, and it's just embracing, I don't know, love in whatever form it comes in, and doing it safely. I also have some soaps and whatnot. Oh, this one's a great one right here too. This one is the Vulva Love Pack, so it's, embracing self-love right here. Love your vulva.
Hang on, let me scroll in on that.
So love your vulva pack right there. This is vulva.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. There should be no shame in being being single, no shame in loving in any way it is. You know, yeah.
So just out of curiosity, what seems magical about Valentine's Day to you?
Well, I think if people can fall in love, quote unquote, you know, it is a really magical thing. It can be a really incredible experience. It can be amazing when you fall in love just with a friend, as a friend, a friendship way. Any relationship that you bond with another person or another being is magical. And that's embracing that as much as possible in today's technological age is just brilliant. So,
Okay, well, thanks again.
yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm here with Sabine. So Sabine, what we've got here is we've got 2 decks, one red deck, one blue deck. Which one do you want to work with?
Red deck.
Okay, so I'm going to take the red deck out to start off with, and I'm going to give it a couple of quick shuffles just to be on the safe side. So I'll take a moment to get all the cards. Hang on. Okay. So we'll just, like I said, just tell me where to stop for the cut. Sorry, tell me where to stop for the cut.
Stop.
Okay, right there, perfect. So we'll take that, we'll do a quick shuffle here. Perfect, just give me a sec here. Okay, so that one's shuffled, we'll put that off to the side there. And you know what, I don't even think we'll bother shuffling the other one, just to be, just this way, just this way they're completely, actually, you know what, we'll just give the other one, hang on, get all the cards here. And we'll just give the other one here a, like I said, we'll just give the, sorry, just trying to remember how to do this. Just trying to give these guys a quick cut, that was it. Like I said, just give a quick cut. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've now got the 2 decks here. You've got the red deck and I've got the blue deck. Just move those off to the side there. And what we're going to do is I've got 9 dice here. So how many dice would you like to use?
2.
Okay, so, oops. I always seem to drop these things.
There we go.
Okay, so we've got 1, 2. I'd like you to roll the dice, and whatever number you roll to is the number we're going to count down in the decks. Okay, so, we're only doing the second card. Oh, sorry, is that a 1 or a 6? No, that's a 6. 7th card. Okay, 7th card. So anyway, I'd like you to count down to the 7th card in that deck, and I'll count down to the 7th card in this deck.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll take your 7th card, you take my 7th card, and now we'll put them in the decks and give them a quick shuffle. Let's just give them a quick shuffle in front of the camera here, so this way everybody can see. Sorry, a little bit closer this way, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, perfect. So like I said, we've lost the cards inside the deck. Now the odds of actually getting the one particular card are odds of 1 in 54 if you count both jokers. So the odds of getting the same card in both decks are 1 in 2,916 or 1 in 54 squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to find my blue card in your deck and your red card in my deck, and we're going to see if a miracle happened. And we're going to try to use the Valentine's connection to see if we can get them to match.
Okay.
So here we go. 1, 2, 3. At the count of 3, here we go. There's the red card and the blue card. Let's flip them over to see if they match. 1, 2, 3. What do you know? They're both the 7 of spades. So based on this Valentine's connection, will you go out with me?
Maybe.
What does magic mean to you?
Well, I have heard various definitions of the term, but magic to me has always meant somebody either seeing or otherwise observing or even making use of a phenomenon without understanding its underlying workings.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, Arthur C. Clarke posits that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. How does this influence our views of society, and how does this, influence, how does this influence the day-to-day running of society? Do you think?
Well, I think we call ourselves a scientific and technological society, but this may not, in fact, be true, because it is true that Arthur Clarke's statement, advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, is true for those people who do not understand how the technology works. For example, a computer is no magical mystery to a computer scientist. It is, however, generally a magical mystery to the vast majority of users.
Are there other examples of magical thinking of this sort that are seen in society that you can think of that are also either harmful or are there any benefits to this kind of magical thinking that we see in our society?
Well, I would argue that most people are probably aware of the transportation network and extremely long and complicated supply chains, which run back from every product we purchase in the stores right back to the mines, farms, and other places where the raw materials were produced to make that product, and all of the intermediate stages in terms of making the materials and then making the materials into sub-assemblies and all the rest of it. But while people may be intellectually aware of this, they do not really consider it in any meaningful way in their day-to-day business. They assume that it's all being taken care of. Now, that unfortunately may not be true to fact. This, to me, suggests that if we rely on magical thinking, which is loose and which doesn't have any discipline and which has very low predictive benefit, and we continue to encourage magical thinking in our general population, well, in a democracy, that means that the general population simply becomes a manipulable, non-intelligent animal, the mob of ancient Rome, satisfied with bread and circuses. And then the real political decisions end up being made by manipulators of the mob, who probably do not understand sufficient science and technology to understand the extremely dangerous nature of the policies that they are embracing.